And welcome again to my YouTube channel. I couldn't wait to publish this video because this video provoked me always some beautiful emotion, and I hope to provoke the same emotion to you. So we are finally arrived to the third part, my journey to Ushuaia. You guys have seen some beautiful pictures so far, but what will you see from now on will be something extraordinary, I swear to you, so stay until the end. So the first stop was in Puerto Madryn. And I only got there after almost 11 hours from Neuquén. You can see what a beautiful rested face I had. Puerto Madryn is a city located on the Atlantic Ocean and is the starting point for many excursions focused on visiting animals in their natural habitats. There are excursions along the coast or to the famous Peninsula Valdez, where you can see sea elephants, sea lions, whales, killer whales and dolphins. Instead, if you want to see the Magellanin penguins, you have an excursion to Punta Tombo. Now I will make you a great gift. I will show you a very precious table, which show you the animals that you can see based on the months. I was in June. It's not really the best time, as you can see, but however I did 3 beautiful excursions. First excursion was to go to see the whales. The peculiarity of this place is that the whales get very close to the coast to reproduce, so you can see them very well. Unfortunately, the whales start arriving in June, so it wasn't really easy to see them. But I was lucky and I was able to see one whale after a couple of hours waiting there, and also if it was far, not very close to the coast, it was a great emotion. The second excursion was to go to find the sea elephants. It was a very nice excursion because it's not that just you walk on the beach and you find them easily. They bring you in some specific point, then you have to walk a lot, climb some rocks and so on. So it's a good experience, and it's amazing because you can see them finally in their habitat. I was feeling like some reporter of National Geographic. Of course, there is no comparison with see them in a zoo. Well, the third excursion that I did was snorkeling with sea lions. And guys, I guarantee you that still now it is the most beautiful experience that I had in all my life. So, in the early morning with a boat, they took me in a hidden place where sea lions live, and of course with a wetsuit because it was winter and the ocean was frozen, I swam with them. It was incredible. There were a lot of them. You can see them from all the side. You can hear their sound, their smell. Someone get close to you, give you some little friendly bites. You can touch someone. Whoa. Okay guys, I leave you with videos that surely will speak more than 1,000 words. Okay guys, it's time to say goodbye to Puerto Madryn, and what can I say more? It literally entered to my heart, and I promised to myself that I will come back in a better time. My next stop was El Calafate. I get there in something like 17 hours by bus. I told you that distances are huge in Argentina. To travel around Patagonia I always use buses. However, there are some nice buses, large, with space, and paying something more you can also have something like a bed place, so it's not that bad, but 17 hours. The incredible thing is that really you can travel for kilometers and kilometers in the middle of nowhere. There is just a road and stop. Outside the window you can just see cow and other animals. In fact, I will always thought, if something happened here, who help us? An alpaca? El Calafate is the starting point for visiting several points of interest in the Los Glaciales National Park, among which I went to Perito Moreno Glacier and the Cerro Chaltén, better known as Monte Fitzroy. Let's start from the first one, Perito Moreno. Guys, I really advise you to include a boat ride during your excursion, because only when you are under it in a boat you can see and you can understand how giant it is. Think that this is the third freshwater reserve in the world. After this boat ride I made a path where you can see the glacier from above. It's a spectacle of nature, and it was also cold as fuck. If you want, there is also the possibility of trekking on the glacier. I would have loved to do it, but for economic reason I had to give up. So my second excursion in the Los Glaciales National Park was in El Chaltén. El Chaltén is a small village that offers the possibility of trekking on wonderful paths. I walked a path that led me to a lagoon called Laguna Capri, where I had a sensational view of Mount Fitzroy. Guys, we have reached the third stage of my trip to Patagonia, Ushuaia, the end of the world. From the place where I went, like memory. It is called the end of the world because it's the southernmost city in the world. Then you can find just Antarctica. There is actually a place farther south than Ushuaia, but it has less than 100 inhabitants and is a village. The first visit that I did in Ushuaia was to the former prison. It was a maximum security prison. It is the largest and oldest building in the city. It was built by the same prisoners at the beginning of the 19th, and it remained in operation until 1947. The prisoners also built the railway line and the first houses of the city. The city was built around the castle. For this reason, the castle is really important. In Inside the prison you can see also the Maritime Museum, interesting above all because there are the remains of the original and real lighthouse of the end of the wars narrated in the famous novel by Jules Verne. There is also a reconstruction of it. Here it is. Today there is another lighthouse, certainly more beautiful and touristy, which it is. To visit this lighthouse there is an organized excursion that I highly recommend to you. In fact, when you are on the ship you can realize still more how much is incredible Ushuaia between the ocean and the snowy mountain. Then along the way you see some island with cormorants and sea lions. And then you finally reach the lighthouse. Guys, then if you still have some time in Ushuaia, you can have a walk in the Tierra del Fuego National Park. Among the many paths, I choose one where you can see the nature totally devastated by some beavers. And one where you can reach the border with Chile. Well, you can see that it's not an insurmountable passage. I went there with a German guy that I met in a hostel. Actually, I didn't say it before, but I practically always slept in a hostel because they are cheap and also because I was traveling alone. So the hostel is a good way to meet people from all over the world. Have fun and do some absurd things like cut the hair to someone even if I'm not a hairdresser, and I never did it before. Well, then from Ushuaia I take a plane to Buenos Aires. I spent a week there. Then I was also in Montevideo in Uruguay. It is very close to Buenos Aires and you can reach it with a boat in a couple of hours. But this is another story. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that I've generated to you some good emotion and positive energy in this not so happy period in quarantine. If you like this video, please share it and subscribe to my channel to don't lose the next videos. See you soon guys, bye bye and hasta luego. So I recorded in 1 hour 58 minutes, oh my god. What can I say?